Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here, and welcome to another video. This is going to be the second in the Fish Room vlogs. There was enough interest and comments and whatnot, and thank you very much for all that. And the first one, that I thought I would continue this for at least a little while. Now there was one comment in particular that I will be getting to, and hopefully that'll be in episode 3 of this. And if you do have ideas, like short, simple ones, definitely put them in the comments below, and I will try and get to them. Now the reason why I'm showing you this is, I think, the second acrylic trough I made. It went in the new rack in the bottom middle tank, and it was filled, like jam-packed with plants. It was rabbit's foot fern in there, pothos, and I think I even had some spider plants and a few bits of aluminum plant in there. And it got to the point where there was literally no room for anything else. And as I mentioned, I am the old rack. I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm taking that down, moving all the stuff out and everything. So I needed to make a bit more room in this tank. And also, this was attached to the very first of the new modifications I did for the underground filters, and I needed to have that so I can take that out, because I do plan on doing, well, not so much, I don't actually think I'm going to take it apart. It's doing really, really well, but I need to be able to get at it, so I had to move it out from the back end of the tank so I can see it more and be able to film it and stuff. So that is also going to be coming up in probably one of these. But anyway, I needed to have this done. This was, like I said, getting in the way too much. And the reason why I'm showing it to you is it has been in an aquarium as a filter for a year and a half. And this is the reason why I like working with acrylic. It is my favorite material for building filtration systems. And, well, anything that's actually going to go inside a glass tank. I prefer building aquariums out of glass because it has better properties for that sort of thing. But keep in mind that this was exposed to an awful lot of abuse, and this center panel here, this one here, I actually wiped down more thoroughly. The rest of it I just gave a quick wipe to, but it's been a filter. It's had water going through it, it's had roots trying to push their way through it, and this is just 1/8 inch, and I only put it together quickly, and it's held up very well. I will definitely be recycling this into something else, probably a high humidity planter filter. This seems to be the thing I'm working on mostly at the moment, but this is very serviceable, and it can be reused easily. And even if I didn't want to use this specifically for a filter, I could cut this up and repurpose it with ease. And so I just wanted to show you that before I get to the rest of the Fish Room vlogs here. There are some other stuff I'm going to be doing as well, of course, but this is actually really kind of cool. I just wanted to show it to you. So if you want to work with acrylic, I highly recommend it. It's something that you can use and reuse. So anyway, let's get on to the rest of this. This is the bottom row for the recycled rack, and it is the most recent set of tanks I've set up. And I've been meaning to get to finding a simpler way of doing water changes for this, because it's getting to the point now they've been up long enough that I definitely want to make this a simpler process. So I went into my bin that I have for my 1/2 inch PVC piping, and I pulled out all the bits and pieces that I could find, like just stuff that I had. Jury rigged up some elbows. And as you can see, this is the drain pipe from, I think I'm currently draining 3 tanks. And while I was filming that, I spent a little too long filming because I wanted to make sure I had the footage for it. I ended up draining about half of those 3 tanks in probably about, well, whatever length this is, about 30-40 seconds. So anyway, they were down quite a ways, but all I have to do to stop it is just pull that out, and then that breaks the siphon and it's done. I don't like doing that large a water change, so what I'll probably do, or actually what I did do I should say, is I took water from the top row and siphoned it down into the bottom row to replace half of it, and then I put fresh water in for the rest of it. And the reason why I'm showing you this part here, this is an interesting idea that I got from Don from New York Gold. He had an idea that if, like, when you put fish out in an outdoor pond, it has the green water and has microorganisms and all that sort of stuff. And when people bring their fish in from outdoors, they're almost always a lot more colorful than tank raised ones. And he made a suggestion. Sorry it took so long there, Don, but sometimes these things just take a while to get around to. That if you raise fish indoors in green water, like that one on the right, will the fish in the end up being more colorful than if you had just raised them in, the one on the left, which is just regular tank water, clear and clean. So that's what that is for. I got a pair of guppies in each, and I'm going to keep them this way if I can maintain the green water long enough. It does take a little bit of extra effort to do that, but I'm going to try and keep it that way. We shall see what it's like in a few months, and we'll see if they are more colorful. And the last thing I want to show you today is an update for the Rainforest build. Sorry this took so long to get to, but I was having some initial flow problems with not the actual filter itself, but with the water pump. If you remember, that was my 7-foot mutt guppy tank, and it had a ton of plants in it, shrimp, fish, and also small amphipods. And I found that the water pump wouldn't plug up, but it would slow down sufficiently that I was not happy with it. I didn't want it to get to the point where I wasn't having adequate flow to all 4 chambers. So I had to do some modifications to it. So I took off the normal intake screen that comes with it, and then I machined a better one. And also I put on a really loose porous sponge so that it pretty much just won't plug up, hopefully, or at least if it does start to plug a little bit, or I can see a change in the flow, it's a quick fix. All I have to do is just pull a sponge off, rinse it, and put it back on, and it shouldn't, like I said, it shouldn't be a problem anymore. Now, also, I should say that was my 7-foot mutt guppy tank, because you remember my plan was to have that pretty much stuffed from one end to the other with guppies. Unfortunately, because of I need to move that rack, because if I wait till all my clients are open and all the fish go back to where they belong, I'm going to get to the point where I may not have the time to do the reno for it. So what I've done is all those guppies have been consolidated into other tanks, which frees up that tank. The hard part actually was getting room for all the plants, because there's an awful lot of plants in that, and also in the old rack. And so that's another reason why I got to this, actually pretty much at this point in time, because that Anubias and this crypt, they're going to go into the Rainforest build. They're going to be my initial plants for it. I want to see how, I've never actually put cryptocrine in that sort of environment before. Anubias I have in the high humidity, and it does fine. I haven't put it, this is actually a lot more humidity, obviously, but it should be interesting to see how that does. So these are going to be my first experimental ones. The other 2 chambers I still have left empty. I am planning on putting in, obviously, a Java fern on probably some form of driftwood or something, but I'm going to leave it empty for the moment. And we're going to see how it all does. I want to see. And then the last chamber, I'm probably going to do some kind of mix. And we'll see how that goes as well. So this needs to be pruned back. I'm just snipping off all the runners. That way it will fit into the chamber. But this is a good sized pot. And it's kind of nice that I built them big enough that they can take this extra size, which is good. So this is going to sit in the pot. And then, of course, the other one's going to be on the driftwood. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I think one of them at least is going to also have gravel and that sort of stuff in it, or lava rock. But anyway, we'll get to that hopefully fairly soon, because I said I have to get that rack down and get it moved and get it reset. So anyway, so I'm going to stick this in, and I'm going to show you what they both look like. I mean, they've been running now, I think I did this about 4 or 5 days ago, and they're doing fine. We'll see how well they grow. If they grow. I mean, we'll have to see. As far as the Anubias goes, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But the cryptocrine, It's a bit of a gamble. I think it'll do fine, but we'll see. I mean, that's one of the things that I do this for, to try stuff out. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And this is what's left of the top row of the old rack. It's pretty much empty now. I still have one colony of breeding plecos in there, and I'm going to pull that out and consolidate it in another tank as well. So if you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe, and definitely leave comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.